people who say, oh, I'm not going to bother to register to vote because my voice doesn't make a difference, or I'm just one person.
I say one name, Donald Trump. That should motivate you. Get off your vote.
Will you sue him for us?
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the ass. He's going to know my name personally.
I love it. He probably does already.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about New York Attorney General Letitia James suing Trump and his kids over some fraud. Now, this, at a certain point, is just a witch hunt. Now, I know that word kind of gets overused sometimes. Some may say that it's just a political buzzword. Anytime anybody gets, in trouble and it's a political thing that could be attached to it. But really, I mean, they've been going after Trump for years. I mean, just in modern times, ever since the whole presidency came about, 2015, nothing, 16, 17, 18, 19, 2021, 22, 2 impeachments, Ray and Mar-a-Lago. What have they found? What have they actually found? But I want to know, what did they find in Mar-a-Lago? Some Diet Coke, some McDonald's, a framed Time magazine. What have they actually found on this man? They done spent millions of dollars, thousands upon thousands of man hours to have absolutely zero. You know what it is, Muhammad? Before we get to the video, which I do have, you know what it is? It's them just trying to attack him because they want anybody linked to him and Trump himself to appear to be weak and unelectable, because they know midterms are coming up in just a few days here. And if they can make Trump look bad, they can make anybody linked to him look bad as well. That's what it's about, in my humble opinion. And also, Miss James herself is up for re-election. So she wants to go ahead and get back in that seat. And what better way to do that than to capitalize on the Trump derangement syndrome that's been placed into the minds of many by the mainstream media and politicians. Now, let's roll this clip. And of course, this will be available in the description box if you want to see it without my commentary.
The relief that we are seeking specifically, we are asking the court, again, to permanently bar Mr. Trump, Donald Trump, Eric Trump, Ivanka Trump from serving as an officer or director in any corporation or similar business entity registered or licensed in New York State. We are barring Mr. Trump and his organization from entering into any New York State commercial real estate acquisition for 5 years. We are barring Mr. Trump and the Trump organization from applying for any loans from any financial institution registered with the New York Department of Financial Services for 5 years.
But here's a question, though. How are you going to even do any of this? How are you going to accomplish this? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
We are requiring Mr. Trump and the Trump organization to disgorge the financial benefits obtained through the persistent fraudulent practices, an estimated baseline at the minimum of $250 million. And to appoint an independent monitor at the Trump organization to oversee compliance, financial reporting, evaluations, and disclosures to lenders, insurers, and tax authorities.
Let's pause for a minute. So maybe she'll get to it in this clip, maybe she won't. But the allegation is this, that Trump had inflated certain assets and deflated certain assets to provide a false value for himself, a false net worth for himself. And he's able to go into banks and get loans and whatnot based on that false valuation. That's the allegation. So I'm not sure how Eric Trump is responsible for this allegation, or Trump Jr. or Ivanka or Tiffany or anybody. I'm not sure how they're responsible, but you're gonna try to blame Barron next. You're going to try to blame Barron for getting a piggy bank. You're going to try to blame Barron from getting the Rush card or one of these prepaid visas. Like, I don't understand what you're even doing. It's so silly. But that is the allegation that they're trying to lump against Trump. Is it a criminal thing? No, they don't have anything criminal. So they're trying to find any little thing they possibly can allege and see if that sticks, which it won't stick. But it looks good right now for those who hate Trump, those who have Trump derangement syndrome.
For no less than 5 years. We are requiring the Trump organization to prepare on an annual basis for the next 5 years a GAP, a generally accepted accounting practices compliant.
But here's my thing. Let's just pause again. Sorry for the pauses. And again, this will be in the box without my commentary. You don't think Trump has a whole army of lawyers and accountants and financial advisors to make sure that he's compliant with law? You think you, Letitia James, are going to find a thing that the IRS didn't find? You are New York's Attorney General. You need to be talking about crime, drugs, human trafficking, that kind of thing. Not some things that the IRS would have already found years ago. Okay, they have access to his records that you don't have. They would have already found that. So what are you even doing? This is dumb.
Audited statement of financial condition showing Mr. Trump's net worth to be distributed to all the recipients of his prior statements of financial condition. To replace the current trustees of the Donald J. Trump Revocable Trust with new independent trustees.
No.
Or require similar independent governance if a new trust is created. And to permanently bar Alan Weisselberg and Jeffrey McConney from serving in the financial control of any New York corporation. And lastly, to cancel any certificate filed under and by virtue of the provisions of Section 130 of the General Business Law for the corporate entities named as defendants and any other entity controlled by or beneficially owned by Donald Trump, which participated in or benefited from the ongoing financial scheme. In other words, permanently prohibit any of these companies from doing business in the state of New York.
So dramatic. It's like, are you trying to audition for a movie? You trying to be the next Shonda Rhimes? You trying to get in the Scandal? You trying to be like, what's old girl name? I forget her. Kerry Washington. You trying to be like that? Okay, like what's really happening? I think there's more. Give me 1 second here.
Good morning. Following a comprehensive 3-year investigation by my office.
3-year investigation. Surely in New York State, there are more things to be pressed with other than Trump. I mean, you know what? I'm going to just say this because there's more I could talk about. I'm going to just say this and I might let it play for a minute. The left, I'm going to come back. Matter of fact, I'm going to just come back so you can see me clearly. The left, they love Trump. They love him more than they think that we do. For real, because he's not been in office for almost 2 years now, and they can't get enough. Oh, they can't get enough. When he was in office, that was one of the best things that ever happened to him. They were fantastic. They were doing very good when Trump was in office. Now that he's gone, they can't help but just try to hate on him to try and prove to us that he was somehow a bad guy, when we all know that he was not a bad guy. He had the country running very efficiently, doing very well. Everybody was getting money. Everybody was just chilling. Not everybody. Some people, they smoke crack, whatever. But anyway, you understand what I'm saying? The country was in a much better position. But now things are kind of going haywire. And you got to ask yourself what's really happening. What's really going on? I think we all know kind of what's happening. We know what's going on. These people that are in office right now aren't doing a good job. So you got to be able to point fingers over here, over there, and back in the past to try and blame them for what's happening right now without blaming them. You say, oh, okay, they're engaging in fraud. You're inflating the value of certain things. You're inflating the value of Mar-a-Lago. It's not worth all millions of dollars. It's worth less than that. Just silly stuff to try and make him be the bad guy, to focus the attention on him while the country is crumbling around you without him being in office. It's so silly, but it's so transparent what they're doing. It's difficult to not see it. It's like if you're not seeing it, you're just being willfully ignorant, in my humble opinion at least. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what said you? How do you feel about Letitia James, New York's Attorney General, going down this path of never Trump, hating Trump, but in a negative way? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys should know where I'm at. This was her stated position from the very beginning. You saw the clip at the top. Okay, she ran her campaign on, I'm going to get Trump. I'm going to get Trump. That was her whole campaign. That's the reason why. And my thing is, how can you run on a campaign like that as New York's Attorney General? You're not in the federal government. You're not part of the FBI. You are New York State's Attorney General. Why are you talking about a president trying to attack him? Your focus should be on the state of New York. Trump's a Florida resident. What are you even doing? Is it because you want to get reelected on the same thing that you ran on? Is that what it is? Is it about your job security? If that's the case, that's pretty disgusting to use a witch hunt to have your own job security? Or do you really in your heart believe what you're saying? Do you really in your heart have that Trump derangement syndrome and you can't let go of it? My advice would be to seek therapy, seek help, because what you're doing right now is not going to work out very well. And I hope you lose in these midterms come November, because that'll just end all this ridiculous witch hunt nonsense, or at least it should. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.